How's it going, everybody? Volume looks good. It can always change. Like I said it on the Zoom, when I bring up those dials, they're invisible to your screen or invisible to what y'all see. But mine are set on, um, I forget exactly what the setting is, but they'll jump. I'll go oftentimes if I play a video for y'all and then I come back, I won't realize that it dropped the volume and the rest of my video would sound. You'd have to turn up the volume to hear it. Anyway, Daniel 5, continuing on the writing on the wall. And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before your father Nebuchadnezzar, whom he would slew, whom he would keep alive, whom he would set up, and whom he would put down. But when his heart was lifted up with pride, like yours is now as his son, when your father Nebuchadnezzar's heart was lifted up with pride and his mind hardened in pride, or lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne. For that 7 times, we suspect 7 years based off the clues. And they took his glory from him. Who's they? Our God through his angels. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling with the wild asses. And they fed him with grass like oxen until his body was wet with the dew of heaven, until he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointeth over it whomsoever he will. In other words, take no pride in anything you do. Everything you do is the will of the Lord. Had some people graduate, and somebody said, "You must be proud of that," or "You should be proud of that." And I was like, no. Take no pride in it whatsoever. I'm happy. Happy for them. Uh, Happy for the situation that the joy that it brings me. But I never use that word proud or pride. It is of Satan. That's why it's used all day and all night, just like Christmas, Easter, birthdays, and man's free will decisions. And you, being his son, O Belshazzar, you've not humbled your heart, though you knew this entire story. But you've lifted up yourself now against the Lord of heaven, by drinking the vessels that came from Judah, the Israelites' golden vessels, which were, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not really sure if what I was about to say was 100% true. Um, let's search it. Why were the golden vessels from Judah so important in the book of Daniel? The golden vessels from Judah were important in the book of Daniel. Their desecration by King Belshazzar was sacrilegious act that represented defiance against God. Yeah, I was going to say, these were sacred vessels to the Lord, but the Lord doesn't view gold or anything sacred, so that's why I stopped. It says this act of hubris, using sacred temple objects for a drunken feast to praise false gods. So they were sacred temple objects. Of course, the Lord doesn't view them as sacred, but you know, the one-upping that Belshazzar did wasn't the smartest thing. So anyway, so you lifted up, let me see, lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels out of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and your concubines have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of uh, silver, gold, brass, iron, wood, stone, which see not, nor hear not, nor know, and the God whose hand thy breath is, and whose are thy ways, you have not glorified. Then was part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. All right, moving over to John. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works, that ye may know and believe that the Father is in me, and I am him. Therefore they sought again to take him, but he escaped out of their hand. Why? Because there's no free will. This is all scripted. Come on. The Lord was not meant to be taken until his appointed time. And they went away again beyond Jordan into the place where John at first baptized, and that's where the Lord stayed. And many resorted unto him and said, John did no miracle, but all things that John spake of this man were true. And many believed on him. Now, a certain man, going on to chapter 11, a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and his sister Martha. And it was Mary that anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was now sick. Therefore, the sisters went to him, saying, Lord, Lord, um, he whom you love is sick. Because the Lord loved Lazarus. And Jesus heard that. He said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God. In other words, it's going to be all about giving the Lord glory when I raise him, that the Son of Man might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, he was sick, he abode 2 days still in this same place where he was. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.